welcome to Artistically Married, where art and opportunity collide. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman
and Brianne Steinberg. And today we have an incredible guest. It's a familiar face from Niagara Falls that everyone knows. He served as our mayor for Niagara Falls since December 2010. So it's been the last 16 years that he's been serving Niagara Falls. He's championed several major projects in Niagara Falls, starting with our GO Train, our new hospital, our South Niagara Hospital, the Niagara Falls University, the incredible exchange, the art hub in Niagara Falls, which we're going to get into because we're so excited. He also led us through the pandemic, COVID-19, the years of the COVID pandemic. And yeah, just a huge, significant person in Niagara Falls. Welcome to the show, Mayor Jim Diodati.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is incredible.
This is a cool studio, by the way.
Thanks.
All the instruments and the planets and the art. And It's a cool place. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, hard to pay attention, but yeah, very exciting.
For an ADHD guy, it's very hard. Yeah.
All right, there's a lot going on. Yeah, but welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
I think it's such a testament. We're going to talk about this, but I think it's such a testament at how involved in the community you are, just like coming out to something like this, right? Being able to get your voice in here is amazing.
Well, you know, my attitude is I want to lift up everyone's boats. And in fact, today there's a new McDonald's opening on Victoria Avenue, right across from the go-karts. It's going to open up on Tuesday. And I went down there, and the owner, his dad used to own a number of the McDonald's, who I used to do business with and other businesses.
Matt?
Pardon me?
Is it Matt?
Yes,
Matthew?
it's Matt.
Oh, we were just at his house on July 4th.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we know Jackie and Matt really well.
Okay, so I call him Matt Cat, you know, but Matt Cat's great family. And I go, your dad, when I was getting started in business, took me under his wing. And I said, and he helped me with a lot of things. And I said, and I always thought in McDonald's was the gold standard. And I thought, how great of him to do that for no reason. Just he's a great guy. And I always thought that's the kind of business person I want to be, or politician, whatever you want to call me. 25 years I ran my own businesses, but I want to mentor other people, not a hand, like they say, not a hand out, but a hand up. And so I see our role as, and this is what I always say, there's not us and them, it's just us. It's all us. Forget trying to divide us into different demographics and countries and this and that. Just think of us as humankind and let's just help each other. So I said, Matt, he goes, oh, thanks for coming. I said, Matt, I'm grateful to do this, man. Your dad. You know, I'm just paying it forward. And I go, and I hope you're going to do the same one day to someone else. I'm sure he's already done it many times.
He already does.
He's a great guy, right?
Oh.
Him and Lori, and they're generous, and his mom, Jana, and his dad, Mike, and they're just good people. And they've been generous. They've donated to the hospital. They've done a lot of great things. And I said, you know, because your dad, every McHappy Day since 1988, when it started, I volunteered at every McHappy Day. I go, because your dad, and it's had an impact on me. So when I hear community members like you guys doing something cool, I want to support you. I don't want it to be where I got to bang down a door to get someone to listen to me or help me. And my philosophy at the city, the answer is yes. What's the question? And right, it's so impactful. First time I heard that, I thought that's how I want our customer service to be. So we're not doing you a favor. We're doing what we should be doing. And I'll tell you the last thing I'll say. I would do this job for free if I could. I have 3 kids still, and I mean, it won't work. Yeah. But I will say that it's got nothing to do with money at all. I've had other very good opportunities offered to me. This is about legacy and loving the city and the people. And when I say the city, I don't love the city. I love the people in it. Niagara Falls people are just hard to describe who we are and what we are, but everyone always says to me, are you all connected somehow? I go, yeah, we are. And I'm proud of that. And I want it to be, and I want more connections between all of us. So anything I can do to help, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
And we got history too, right?
Yeah.
Like your family, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's what I mean. So everybody just being friends with everybody, helping each other.
Yeah, and I think the podcast is a really exciting thing because it really is just about like the stories, right? Like we were just talking off air. I think it is just relating to one another. And I think that makes like the podcast a really exciting way to like help each other, right? Is you're just helping each other with relatability. And that really what it comes down to when people are sitting together and just chatting, I think is like the most powerful in building community.
Well, that's why I think people love jokes, because jokes are stories, right? With a funny ending.
Totally.
And in life, and I always tell my kids, and people say, oh, you have a great memory. I go, actually, I don't. I go, but I remember stories.
Yeah.
And I remember everything as a story. And then my kids are like, you're like a village elder. Like I always have a story. Oh, that reminds me of a story. I feel like Cliff on Cheers. I've always got a story to tell with a lesson or a proverb or a saying or a quote. I love things like that.
Yeah.
But you're right. The stories is, I would say, other than my stories, I'm an empty vessel.
Right. That's the powerful part, right?
Yeah.
I actually you brought it up and I was like, I don't know if this is a touchy subject, but I think it's so exciting to watch you in the position that you're in because you're also a father and you're so connected with your kids and you're so involved in your kids' life. I think I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs where like that's the most difficult thing to balance is like anytime I'm in my business, I feel like I'm away from my kids. Anytime I'm with my kids, I'm away from my business. So what did that feel like to balance that over the last 15 years?
So that's a great question. And I'm so blessed. I've had so many mentors in my life that gave me advice and steered me at points in my life and kept me on a good path. And one of the things I'll say is I decided just organically to integrate my life, my political life and my family life. And what I mean by that is, so on Saturdays, typically a really busy day for events, I would take all my 3 kids with me. I go, come on. And as long as they knew there'd be food at some events, and I mean, they've been to Holi, the Indian festival, where they're throwing chalk at each other, and they're eating all these different foods, or they've been to everything. And now they're so multicultural, and they are more like and food-wise, they went from being, Kraft macaroni and cheese kids to they'll eat anything, shawarmas, you name it, they eat it. And they become more interesting and more interested. So I integrate them. So I'll tell you one quick funny story. And again, I have like literally hundreds and hundreds, but one quick one. So people always ask me, I have a black belt on my desk at City Hall. I've got a wall of cool stuff. Yeah. And I don't have a lot of room because I got windows in my office, but just cool. And everyone's got a cool story. So people always say to me, it just happened to me yesterday. A guy goes, oh, black belt. And I go, yes, it's a black belt, but not my black belt. Not one I earned.
Right.
So anyway, I tell the story. Years ago, I had all 3 kids. I was at a karate conference, international, 80 countries. We had a 10th degree black belt from Japan. This guy in his 80s, the bottoms of his forearms were all scabbed because every day he would hit rocks to toughen up and he was just a little, I don't know how tall he was. Maybe he was 5 foot, like not much more. And he didn't speak really any English. And I just thought to myself, if he were to backhand me, he'd probably take my head right off of my shoulders. This little guy, old guy. Yeah. So anyway, we had this fight scene. I put on the gi, the white belt. Me and the master are fighting, and I'm doing air quotes for anyone listening to this. Yeah. And so I had my chain of office on, and I win. So then they changed my belt. They put my black belt. I bow to all the karate people. Yeah. I can walk out with my kids. I go, okay, come on, guys, because we got to go to our next event. I go, come on, guys, let's go. And my son, he's just staring up at me, and I go, come on, we got to go. He goes, Dad. Wait, Dad. And I go, Jimmy, we got to go. He goes, no. I don't think you understand. You're now the master. And I go, I'm like, I'm embarrassed because this was all not real fighting. Right. And I go, Jimmy, we got to go. Let's go. He goes, no, Dad, you defeated the master. You're now the master, Dad. Oh and I go, Jimmy, this isn't Kung Fu Panda. I said, I'm going to explain to you in the car. Can we just go and I can explain in the car, please? Can we go? We're going to be late. Yeah. So then, and now he's so funny because since then he's done martial arts and all that fun stuff. And he'll see my black belt and he goes, and he always wanted me to tell his friends. He tells friends, my dad beat the master. And then now he goes, Dad, you should put that black belt away and be ashamed of yourself. But we all laugh about it. Yeah. But we were all together at a work event. Yeah. And now we have a story that we all participate in. Yeah. So I have so many of those kind of things throughout my life. They're with different people, different times, different incidents, but they're just funny, silly, goofy stories. Yeah. So that's one.
Yeah. Getting to be like involved in events like that and having them exposed. I think we constantly are saying about our own children, we're so grateful that they're getting to be along the ride with us. Right. So I think, it is, I agree. I have had great mentors that have kind of said, you know what, you can try to divide the two, but you're going to always miss out. If you integrate them, then they're getting the experience and they're getting the exposure. And now consequently, they're having their own ideas of like entrepreneurship. So yeah, I'm just wondering now, are your kids going in that direction? Like they seem like they have their own initiatives and visions.
Oh, well, my daughter, my oldest daughter, Olivia, she's 24 and she's just doing her MBA in Vancouver. And she's like, Dad, I think I would like to be the first female mayor of Niagara Falls. And I said, don't do it. Don't do it. I go, chart your own path. I go, carve your own path. I go, do your own thing, hon. You don't have to you can do anything you want, but do something else, and so all my kids are so different. in so many ways. But yeah, they've definitely got the entrepreneurial bug.
Yeah.
Two of them, like they're all great swimmers. Two of them run a swimming school. They're lifeguards. And then at night, my son also bartends, which I love because he has no time to spend his money.
Right.
Because I said, my dad always told me, son, you can make $1 million, but if you spend $1 million, you're still broke.
You can still have zero.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I said, he goes, you don't want to be broke. I go, I don't want to be broke. And he
Yeah.
goes, save your money.
Yeah.
So, and I try to tell them because, a lot of time, easy come, easy go. And Jimmy, another one when we were little, I remember going to the bank machine with my debit card and getting money out, right? And he goes, Dad, why don't we do this? Just get me a debit card and you won't have to give me money anymore. I'll just take my own money. And I go, son, that's actually my money I'm taking out of the bank. They don't give you a card with money.
Right.
I go, that's my money. And he didn't understand it. He goes, I don't know. What are you talking about, Dad? So anyway, it's funny lessons in life. But yeah, I encourage them to do everything and anything. Sometimes I'm hard on them when they're going down a wrong path.
Yeah.
Because what I know is my dad was like that with me. And a lot of the time, I couldn't wait till the lecture was over so I could leave and do something else. But little did I know, unbeknownst to me, he was planting these seeds. And now, as you get older, because they germinated, I didn't even know.
Right.
As much as I resisted being like him in certain ways, but what a great mentor he was and is still. That's who I was talking to on the way in.
Oh,
and
good for you.
Yeah, my dad's going to be 84 next month.
Wow.
And he's gave us those lessons because I'll say to I have two brothers and a sister, and I'll go, do you ever notice you say things that Dad would say? And I'm like, yes, same. Oh my God. I caught myself the other day. And I was like, as much as as long as you plant those seeds, you can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. They can't unhear what you said. And they can resist it, but it's still echoing somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then eventually when the time is right, it'll sprout and they'll think back, what did Mom say? What did Dad say? And then they'll always filter things through that. And that's my hope, that don't make the same mistakes I made. Make different mistakes. And the other thing I would say is there are no mistakes. They're all lessons. So learn your lesson and then make another lesson and learn another lesson. And whoever makes the most mistakes, learns the most lessons, is going to be the most successful. I said, so there's no mistakes. They're just lessons.
Yeah.
Nobody got up understanding life. You had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I said, there's no, textbook on how to raise kids. There's no on how to be a great politician, on how to be, you just figure it out and you hope to do it right. As long as you're humble enough to learn.
Admit it.
And to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I always tell my kids. I say, first thing, I said, when you make a mistake, own it. I said, just don't bury it under the rug. Own it. Apologize if it's something that needs an apology. Fix it and don't repeat. And I said, that's it. And then now make a different mistake. And I'm not saying encouraging to make mistakes, but I'm saying don't be afraid of mistakes.
I think that's really positive and really great to hear from like our mayor, because I think that's how I want our city to be governed. I want someone who's in place and in power that's like comfortable and willing to take risks, to make the mistake. I think a lot of people think that they're trying to kind of avoid everything. And especially when I see this like population of young people, and somehow their message got confused that they're trying to avoid everything. They're trying not to get hurt. They're trying not to break things. They're trying not to do anything wrong. They don't want to get anyone upset. They don't want to get anyone mad. And I'm trying to explain to them that like, no, you have to do that to make the mistakes so that you grow.
Yes.
So I think it's amazing that like you have that mentality as coming from a leadership position. But yeah, how do we teach kids that? I
blame the parents because they don't want to see anything happen to my little.
I know.
But the thing is, unfortunately, then they're not going to learn anything. Because if you live in a bubble, it's kind of like plants inside of a greenhouse. Are they going to survive outside of the greenhouse in the real world? Probably not. Some bug will eat them. Some disease will get them. There'll be too much sun, not enough sun, too much rain, not enough rain. Thing is, to be resilient, you have to be tested and tried. And I would rather my kids fail when I'm nearby to pick them up, dust them off, tell them it's okay, cheer them up a little bit. And that's, I think that's why even people say playground equipment today. You can't even get hurt playing a playground.
Yeah, everything's bubble wrapped.
Yes, and I blame parents, and I do that. And as a parent myself too, we want what's best for our kids.
For sure.
What's best is let them go live and learn and give them advice. But it's okay if they bump their head, if they scratch their knee. That's normal. Mm-hmm. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
And so, but we're so worried about failure now today. I remember my kids, when they were young, at one point, we weren't keeping score of their soccer game. And I said, well, no. And the coach said, no, we don't keep score. And I said, well, the dads, we all keep score. And we're getting killed. It's 7-2, we're getting killed. But we don't, I go, but when they get into the real world, they keep score.
Yeah.
And you get punished or praised based on the score. I said, so you're delaying the inevitable. You're taking away their lessons.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
And like you want to feel the wins, right?
Yes.
Like if you don't feel the losses, you don't know what the wins feel like.
Everything's gray
Yeah.
and beige.
Yeah.
There's no accent
Gray and
colors.
beige.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, my God, guys. And so, and I'm going to tell you, first of all, people will say, oh, that's because you're an overachiever. But no, I'm going to tell you something. Growing up, I was an unremarkable kid.
Yeah.
I was as average as they come. I did good in school, but not great. I did good in sports. I wasn't the best. I was an average looking guy. It's not like people are like, oh, he's cool. That didn't happen. I was an average kid, as average as they come.
The Zach Morris of St. Paul.
Yeah, well,
Was it St. Paul? Did you go to St. Paul?
Meyer.
Oh, you went to Meyer. Okay.
But because it was right by my house.
Yeah. The Zach Morris of Meyer.
Well, I don't know, but I was so average, and I said, and I was a late bloomer. That was the other thing.
Okay.
Because I was busy looking at other people trying to get on their path, because look how good they're doing. That, and I realized I'm on my own path, on my own timeline, and I don't know where it's going. We'll just see where the universe decides to take me. And then I thought I'll just try to be good at some things and try to focus and be disciplined. And anyway, that I just want to say, I made my own mistakes, and I still every day I add mistakes to my book of screw up and add chapters every week. And I said, that's okay. I just make different ones.
Yeah.
I'd rather shoot for the moon and miss than shoot low and hit. To me, there's no excitement in that. And as you said, even though I got a lot of purple badges as a participant as a kid, I got lots of those. Yeah. And I said, but that's okay. I was still proud of that. I got something in a bag of chips. You know, it was a good day.
And as an entrepreneur, you do realize that it really is just like your skill stack, right? Like the more skills you learn, the more that, and I think as an entrepreneur, you realize that you have to have so many different skills.
Oh my God. You have to be able to do everything and that was the thing. That's why I think I've become really innovative, because I didn't have money. Yeah. So I had to do all the jobs. I had to learn to clean toilets, serve drinks, clean up. Like I had to be able to market, do everything, because I didn't have money. Yeah. So I had to develop creativity and innovative approaches. So today I govern with that approach. Yeah. Customer service and innovation. Yeah. And I learned some great mentors. And it's funny, someone asked me the other day about a good book, and I don't have enough time to read like I'd like to read. So I do those 30-second Instagram snippets. Right. And with the algorithm, I always get more positive feeds. Yeah. So it's always pump me up stuff. Right. I look at that, or science fiction, or things that make me laugh. Yeah. That's kind of the most things that I look at. Totally. And Richard Branson wrote a book called Like a Virgin, because he had Virgin Air, Virgin Records, Virgin everything. Yeah. And he, in his book, I don't want to take people from not reading the book, but two main lessons. He built multiple multi-billion-dollar industries with two things. And remember, he's a high school dropout, dyslexic. He wasn't educated, but it doesn't mean you're not smart because you're not educated. There's different kinds of smart. There's EQ, there's IQ. And he did it with two things: customer service and innovation. That was it. Love that. Just it. Be innovative and give great customer service. Yeah. The answer is yes. What's the question? And that approach has taken, and I got to meet him, one of my mentors, one of my heroes. I got to meet him twice, and I got to pitch him on Niagara Falls. Yeah. And he said, that's interesting. I'm looking for a new location for my Virgin Hotel brand. And so I've been in touch with his people in Miami. Here. Yeah, and you never know. Yeah. But he had some great. Got to put it out there. Oh, it was just cool. But yeah, there's so much out there. Yeah. And like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And meaning, like, when you're ready to learn and put your ego in your back pocket that you don't know everything. And the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. Right. Then once you're open to learning, oh my God, the universe will pour into you. Yeah. And the more you get, the more you're going to learn. And it's exciting because it's like an algorithm, but in the real world of life, not on a computer with AI. And it just gives you more of what you ask and what you seek and what you talk about. That's why I always say, what you think about will come about. Don't always, oh, poor me, life sucks. I have no money. I have nobody cares about me. Nobody's going to help me. I go, with that approach, that is going to be exactly what you get. Yeah. You got to have a different approach that, life is great and so many good things are going to happen for us and we're grateful for this and this. And so I always say to my kids, what are you grateful for? And then they know, they'll tell me, I go, don't just say that I have a hot meal in front of me. I go a little deeper, go a little further. Yeah. And then they'll go farther. And I love when they do it, because then they'll send me a picture of a sunset. Look at this sunset, Dad. Oh my God, look at this butterfly today. Or look at, and I I love the fact they're enjoying things that we often take for granted.
And you taught them that, right? The fact that like you were talking about those seeds, right? That like you plant those things with your kids and you're like, oh, I'm so glad of all the things that I taught you. I taught you appreciation. That's so great.
And I don't want to make it look like I take all the credit. You know, their mom, my parents, you know, like a lot of people.
Yeah, the community.
Takes a village.
100%. Yeah. Actually, that's a great segue because I was just going to ask you kind of about your team. So I think and that's been, this is all resonating with me because really up until 2 years ago, it was me running my dance studio. I was on my own. And I think 2 years ago, I hit this wall where I was ready for this like team of people. I was ready to I felt like I was ready to embark all of the knowledge that I've, worked so hard to acquire over the last 20 years of my working career. I was ready to pass it on to other people. I was ready to be in a mentorship position. And now I've acquired a team. I have other dance teachers with me and I have a secretary. And I think it's so powerful when you start to take on people around you as a team. So yeah, I think it's a perfect segue to talk about that village and like what that village looks like at a municipal level.
So one thing is you have to be honest with yourself. What are you good at and what do you like? Because I know that part of the business I like is people. I like pleasing. I like giving, like even as a kid, I'll tell you a quick little silly story. When I was a kid, I thought, so I would cut my mom's rose bushes. She had these rose bushes. We grew up near Kerr Park. We backed on a Vine Street.
Yeah. Oh, you're so close to Meyer.
Yeah, really, right up the street, right?
Yeah.
And we had a little old wartime home, and it was great. There was 6 of us in the house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know, and a little whatever, I don't know, 1,100 square foot. I don't even know how big it was. But I grew up thinking if you had a garage, you guys had money. Even if it was a detached, I'm not kidding you. And if you had a paved driveway, you guys were like, you made it.
Yeah.
Because, I remember we got our new load of stone in and we'd spread it out in the driveway. We think, hey, we're the big time here.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's all about perception.
Totally.
And so I think, first of all, it was a good place to learn, a good place to start. And when you bring your team, I realized, what am I good at? What am I not good at? And I thought, I don't like the detail part, like the accounting. It's where I'm weak. And that piece of the business. So our city manager, he's a CPA, really smart with numbers. He's corporate finance expert.
Amazing.
And I joke, I go, you complete me, know, but and I'm being corny, but meaning he's good where I'm weak and I'm good where he's weak.
Yeah.
So we don't need a bunch of similar people. We need to kind of have different personalities.
Yeah.
So I realized you do a SWOT analysis, right? Your strengths, weakness, opportunities, and your threats. And then we start like that. So when I ran for mayor, I did a SWOT analysis on the city. I took a business approach that I learned in business. I said, let's take a business approach. What's good about Niagara Falls? What can be better? And I thought, we got to be honest. And I thought, okay, our hospital is old, 1958. Like, what other things could make it better? We're not connected to Toronto. We don't have a GO train out here. I made a whole list of things. If we only had a post-secondary educational institution to bring youth, because I went to school in London, and I have an affinity to London now. And if my daughter went to McMaster's, so she likes Hamilton, and so on and so forth. So I thought if we had that to bring people here, they may end up staying here, and they bring their youth and their ideas and enthusiasm.
And you're educating them here. So now you got like brains here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, it got me on it. So I put them all on my platform. People said, you're crazy. And I go, why? They go, well, because if you don't achieve them, everyone's going to know you failed. I go, but that's what's going to drive me to achieve them. I don't want to be embarrassed and tell the public, yep, I put out 4 goals, I achieved 0. I was like, no.
You got an audience.
Right?
Yeah.
And people waiting for me to fail too, because there are people out there.
Haters gonna hate.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example that people, it's hard to use now with the youth because they don't know what I'm talking about. But there's a saying, some people are so negative they would develop in a dark room.
Oh, I love that.
But then when I tell it now, kids go, what's a dark room? And I go, it's where they develop film. And they go,
what's film?
What's film? Oh, I go, oh my God. I go, it's something we did in the old days when we had dinosaurs roaming the earth. And then they're like, sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's just kind of funny. Now instead of making fun of the old guy, I am the old guy. Yeah. But I realize that times change, but there's good examples of how. So you gotta, I think, come up with your plan your work your plan.
Yeah.
So, and I was told by some provincial politicians, it's not how it works. You get one ask. And I said, who says that?
Yeah.
Well, I said, I'm unreasonable. I go, I'm asking for everything.
I'm from the camp of 5 asks and say yes.
Exactly. Thank
Every
you.
time I ask 5 times, they say yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Hospital, university, go train. Yes, yes, yes.
Amazing.
And so now I'm not done. Now I've added a bunch more things to the list. I thought,
Love it.
why stop there? We got momentum. We're like
Yeah.
dominoes now.
Yeah.
And so I realized I figured things out. And another one of my mentors said to me so this is the other thing I always do when I meet somebody. I'll go, sum it up for me. What do you mean? I go, so the longest serving mayor in Canada, I've talked to him, Gordon Krantz, Mayor of Milton, 42 years. And I said, sum it up for me. Or my babysitter, my kids were little. I said, Cindy, sum it up for me. When I meet someone, I go, sum it up. So this one guy, he was one of my mentors. You know, he's good friends with Tony Robbins and a lot of those kind of people. And
Amazing.
I said, Mike, sum it up for me. Sum it up. And he goes, all right. He goes, watch what everyone else is doing. I said, yeah. He goes, then do the opposite. He said 97% of people don't end up where they want to be. He goes, because they just follow the crowd.
Sheeple.
Exactly. Sheeple. Like lemmings. He goes, you don't even know. You're just the back of the line going off the cliff. You don't know until you get there and it's too late. You're off the cliff.
Totally.
He goes, don't take comfort in crowds. So I was like, wow. So then everything I did from running for mayor, running for city council, business plan for the city, how we try to get a hospital, and I don't want to give all my secrets because there'll be other budding mayors and city councilors out there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, but the bottom line was, and that's a whole other podcast probably, is watch what everyone does, do the opposite. Because if you're trying to get attention or get noticed or get an action done on an item, you can't do what everyone's doing because you're like 10 birds in a nest with their mouths open. Which one's getting the worm from mom? Right? Like you got to do squeak, go higher, do something, flap. You got to do something to get noticed. And
fake suicide.
Hang off the side of the nest.
Pretend your arm's broken.
I'm dying, mommy, I'm dying. And so many lessons along the way.
Yeah. I wanted to get really into each one of the projects because I think they're just incredible. And now I can totally see it, that like the things you were targeting were to like bring the right type of people here. People that are youthful, that are ready to work, that want to be here and ready to like grow their families here. Right. And I think all of those things have done that. So I just wanted to go through them individually because I think they're so incredible. The first was the Niagara Exchange. Just so near and dear to our heart because we're artists. And I think that, it's constantly a complaint that like artists are always like bottom of the totem pole, but really they're what's bringing the culture part. When you talk about a community, it's always the art behind it. It's always the people that can create and that are innovative. And yet they're the ones who can't get their hands on any money. They're always operating at a deficit. So I think it's so exciting to have a building and have a location that can facilitate and have people come and help with some of the overhead. Can you talk a little bit about the vision of the Exchange?
Absolutely. Niagara Falls, we're well known and documented for our sports and recreation. We've got great arenas, ballparks, soccer pitches, and everything else, sports and recreation. But we're lacking in arts and culture. And they need to be represented and be given an opportunity to bud, almost like an incubator for artists. And so my ex-wife, and I'll talk about her because we're great friends. Yvonne and I, and she's an artist, right?
Yeah,
and people will say like they don't understand, like because we'll go away on vacation, the whole family, our 3 kids, 24, 22, 19, Yvonne and I. And we'll go out to dinner together. We do Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, Halloween, whatever, name it. We do things together as a family. We just live in 2 houses. We're a modern family, if you want to call us.
Yeah.
But we still love each other.
Yeah.
And sometimes things just don't work out for whatever reason. It doesn't mean that they're bad or you're bad, or sometimes things just don't work.
But I feel like that is working. I use you guys as examples all the time because I'm like, I see these parents that are like not co-parenting together and they can't visualize the fact that like just because you don't want to constantly be in the same household doesn't mean it's not working as 2 separate entities and 2 separate buildings. So I think it's great.
And I like to say like we're a good example.
Yeah.
You know how you can make it work.
Yeah, you're not vindictive. You're not undermining each other. It's amazing.
And we love our kids more than what we don't like about each other.
Exactly.
And so you got to pick your
kids first.
Put your kids first. first because I think they're innocent. They didn't do anything. Well, wait, before I say they're innocent, in this regard, they're innocent. And ironically, it's so funny. There's one of my daughters calling me, and we understand that, there's nothing, they didn't do anything wrong. So let's give them as normal a life. And so we do. We go to the cottage together. We do everything like any other family.
And you probably get along great because you're not up in each other's grills all the time.
We haven't fought in years. Yvonne will be over my house. She got the key to my house and vice versa. She'll say, hey, just have that picture. I gotta help yourself. Like I always say, take anything you want. I'm not attached to things. Take anything you want. So, and it's great. Or she'll make extra food. Hey, do you want some? I made soup tonight. You want to come over? And it's great. Or I'm at the store. Do you need anything? So it works fine. And it just happened. It just worked its way. And eventually it is what it is. So she's part of the team, I want to say. And she'll give me advice. She'll say, so she's an artist. She loves to paint. Of course, she's a teacher, but she loves art. That's her real love. Totally. And my house is filled with her art. I have art on my walls. You can see it from the road in my living room. Amazing. And in my family room. But so I think it's so important, and that's why we've got an incubator downtown, a hub where we incubate business ideas, because so many business ideas start on the back of a napkin or in your mind. You just don't know the next step. You're like, I know this is a good idea. I just don't know what to do. And so we help take you to the next step. And similar with arts and culture, some people they're good artists, but they don't really know what to do. They're like, I don't know, is this a business or is this what is this?
Or how do I make this a business? Like I want to, I love it so much. I just don't know how to make it a business. So
we give you a place. A makerspace where we've got machines, we've got other mentors, we've got exhibit areas. We encourage, every year I do a Christmas card contest with all the elementary schools. Then we have a big art show where their cards are on display, and we print them some cards for grandma that she can send your Christmas card, for Christmas this year. You can buy more. And we just try to encourage these kids and also give them some victories. Maybe you're not good at sports. Maybe you're good at music. Maybe you're good at art. Maybe there's something else you're good at. We can't all be good at the same things. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm good at. But the fact is,
dabbling.
I'm good at being good at nothing. And so perfectly imperfect. And so we're trying to give. And so that arts and culture thing has been great, well received, and already we're seeing. We had a group out of New York before that was doing work on our downtown, and they were talking about how they did it in Toronto and how they did it in Manhattan and Lower East Side and the different areas, and Queen Street West in Toronto, how the artists came in, made it cool, and then all the businesses wanted to move there and people wanted to live there. And then it was too expensive for the artists now because the rents went up and they had to move again. But the artists are the cool people, the musicians, they're the cool people, and they make an area cool. And so bring them in. It'll bring coolness. And so we understand that. Left brain, right brain, they're different. But we realized it was missing. And now so many other things are sprouting as a result. We have festivals and events, and it's neat just seeing what happens. Like throwing seeds and seeing what grows. And that's what's happening now.
Last year we got a grant. Are you going to say the same thing?
No, I was going to say the other thing we didn't write down, but the OLG stage. That's so amazing. Just having like big acts come to Niagara Falls, because we really didn't have like a venue for big acts like that, and having that there is awesome. Just to see those names like coming here, that's amazing.
Well, it's funny you say that, Jake, because I went twice this weekend. Once with Yvonne. We and my daughter Olivia, who's in town, so we went to see Seth Meyers.
Oh, amazing!
He was so
awesome.
funny,
funny.
Oh my God! And to hear him not on TV, where he has no filters, he can drop a few F-bombs. He can go places he can't go on national television. That was so much fun. And then I went with Yvonne, and then we saw Rick Springfield. His final set, he takes his shirt off. This guy is going to be 77 in August. He looks amazing. Like, he put most guys to shame. And I thought, and he was a great musician and guitar player. And it was, but yeah, if we didn't have that theater, the Avalon and the OLG stage, I was saying, isn't that great? We don't have to go to Toronto or Buffalo to see a great act. They're all coming here. And I'll tell you something else. With the Premier's vision of Destination Niagara, it's going to bring many more theaters, which that'll mean many more acts. And this is the year we're bringing back the New Year's Eve show. And we're working on it, And I can't tell you yet who we're talking to, but we're talking to some top drawer talent that'll bring out big crowds and national TV. But finally, after COVID and all these years of nothing, it's coming back. back this year.
It's such a great event, like overlooking the falls like that. It's magical.
And everyone across the country is talking about, we're like the Times Square of Canada.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool way to kick in the new year with some cool, fun, free concert that a lot of the locals really participate. Yeah. Obviously, it's open to everybody, but it's a bonus. I think locals get to participate in that show.
Yeah, we walk there. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, that you can just like not deal with the traffic and you can like, take an Uber or walk there is like amazing. Yeah, right? It's so fun.
Right in our backyard.
Yeah, it's so great.
And it's good too. And people go for dinner before the show. And so it helps the local restaurants. I talked to the guys that own Cucina, Four Brothers, and he goes, it's great when there's a show. People come, they eat, they park their cars here. Then they walk to you walk it off and then they see the show. They come back maybe for a drink. And I thought, it's the high tide brings up everybody's boats.
Yeah. I think I did want to get to this later, but it kind of just brings up this point. And I am always an advocate for business owners. And I agree with you. I think you said at the top of the episode, just that it's not us against them. It's all of us together. So I'm constantly trying to advocate for business owners and how much, is on our shoulders and how much I think it's common for residents in the area to be struggling with, I have to face traffic or I have to, and I don't think that people really understand how much of our community growth and the vision that you've created has come from business owners being successful in the area. I just wondered if you can kind of speak to, how you face challenges like that with residents feeling like, they don't want to deal with the tourism, but they're not understanding how much value we need this to come into our city so that you can have the services you want.
So that's a really good point. It's one that I've never totally understood. But people in Niagara Falls don't necessarily like tourism. And it
boggles me.
It boggles me too. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there. And I try to educate them the best I can. Mm-hmm. The first one they like to say, which is a misconception, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I'm tired of subsidizing tourism. Yeah. That does not happen.
No.
The average 300 square foot hotel room pays, and 300 square foot hotel room is very tiny, pays more property taxes than the average bungalow.
Exactly. It's not, I'm always trying to explain to people.
And it's not even close.
Yeah.
The commercial sector pays way higher property taxes than resident. Not even close.
Yeah.
And they say, well, how come the roads are all cleaner there? Because they pay a levy in their business improvement area on top of their taxes, and they pay for their own upgrades like flowers, nicer street benches, extra cleanup staff, lights, and they pay extra for that.
Yeah.
You aren't doing that. You are not subsidizing them. And then, I don't know about you, but me and everyone I know worked in tourism at some point to help pay for school or help pay for a car or help pay for whatever it is that's important to you.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. We have 40,000 people working in tourism in Niagara Falls. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, they wouldn't be able to pay their mortgages and their rent if they weren't. Yep. So how could you wouldn't go to GM Oshawa or St. Catharines and complain about General Motors.
Right.
You wouldn't. Why is it? And I think it's a misconception.
Yes.
And they say, well, I don't like the inconvenience. I said, well, yeah, in the main tourist area, it's busy. Yeah. But because of that, you get to go to great musical performances, amazing restaurants. We've got 2 casinos. We've got so many amenities here because of the 14 million visitors, not because of the 100,000 residents, because of 14 million tourists. So you get the benefit of a big city by living in a smaller city.
Exactly.
To me, we get the cake and we get to eat it too.
Exactly.
Here. But some people misunderstand, and I tell people, but the problem, there's a saying, person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So I tell them ad nauseum, I'm like, no, you aren't subsidizing. It's the exact opposite.
They're subsidizing you.
Yes, they're tired of paying for you.
Yes.
And they're like, well, I don't see it that way. I said, no, that's the facts. And we can sit down and show you the numbers. And then we try to explain to them, how it actually works. And the other thing we try to explain, they'll say, well, because of tourism, we pay higher taxes. I said, no, actually, the fact is, you pay much lower taxes. Out of 12 cities in Niagara region, we're the 8th lowest, much lower than St. Catharines, Welland. I said, it's the opposite of what you think. It's not true.
I know.
Get your facts.
Yeah.
And you can deal with facts all day long, but I can't deal with fiction. That's hard. So I try to explain to them that's not the truth. Your taxes are actually lower here, and we have high service level. We get the cake and eat it too here. We are the cake city here, But again, try to convince people when they got it in their mind that no, it's not the way, but it is the way.
It is the way. I know. So I guess that leads me into the South Niagara Hospital.
Yeah.
Because that's a perfect example that we as residents are benefiting because we get this amazing hospital, but it's insane tourism that pays for the amount of tax dollars that we have to build a thing like this. So I just wanted to kind of talk about, I actually really wanted to talk about the red tape involved in like getting a building like this, like being able to, because I know it's, you know, it's at a federal level at that point when you're trying to build a giant hospital like that. What did that look like for you to get the permission to build a building like this?
So this has taken me 3 different premiers to get to the finish line, and we're not there yet. We're still 2 years away. Mm-hmm. So it started off with Dalton McGinty, and then Kathleen Wynne, and now Doug Ford. So first thing was I put it on my platform 16 years ago. We're going to get a hospital. And I'm telling you, I had people say, you're a dreamer, you're crazy. Even it's going up now. Like it's fairly complete now. 12 stories already. Yeah. And some people still don't believe it. And I'm telling you, and I get it. Some people need to see it before they believe it. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, I go, my only superpower, I go, I might not be the best at anything. I go, but one thing, I will outwork anybody. Nobody will work harder than me, be more persistent, because I am like a dog with a bone. When I make up my mind about something. So anyway, the hospital, first, I had to think again. Okay, do what everyone else does. You'll get what everyone else gets. So don't do what everyone else does. So everyone else goes, meets at Queen's Park, puts in their orders, complains about 12 things. So I had to take a different approach. So I thought, let's get the land first. So I went to a bunch of landowners in the area and said, would you be willing to donate 30 acres for a hospital? Well, why would I do that? I go, good question. First thing is you're going to get a big tax receipt. Yeah. Second reason, if we build a hospital, the rest of your land will be way more valuable. 10 times, 20 times.
Yeah.
So we got a guy, I work with our economic development, to donate the land.
Wow.
And then it turned out the hospital system said, our new models, you need 50 acres. And I go, you told me 30. And they say, yeah, well, the reason, the new way is when we build another one in 50 years, we want to build it on the same site. So we'll build it on the parking lot and then demolish the old place. I said, okay. So then we had to buy, but now the value was higher. So we had to buy. So now we have our 50 acres.
Because you promised him his other acreage would be worth.
And it was. Oh, yeah, and it was. Good for you. So now here we are. We've got the land now. So then I went to the premier and said to the premier, you know, we'd like to build this hospital and whatever, and we need it. But then I watched West Lincoln. 25 years they've been waiting. Nothing happened. So I thought, I got to do something different. So I kept thinking, what can I do? And it struck me. I know what to do. And there's a saying, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. I thought, I'm putting up a billboard on the site. So I thought, I won't say the companies because I don't want to get in trouble. We put up a full-size billboard, future site of the Niagara Falls Hospital.
Amazing.
And we had no approvals.
I love that. That's just like, putting intention, putting it out there in the universe, right? Manifestation.
That's exactly what it was. But I was still worried because I thought I was a newer mayor. And I thought, if you tick off the province, you know, because we're creatures of the province, they can make life tough for me.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I give credit to Premier Wynne, and her minister, Deb Matthews was the Minister of Health at the time. Her only little dig to me was, she goes, oh, how nice. The mayor is now making provincial announcements. That's all she said. She was really cool about it. She could have ripped me, but she did. She was cool about it. Yeah. She knew where my heart was.
Right.
And I didn't want to embarrass anyone, but we want a hospital. Yeah. So then we had to decide where it was going to actually go because we were competing with Welland. And there's a whole other series. So one thing the short of the story was we eventually were able to secure this is the site. Well, then they said we're going to have to raise money locally. And I said, how much? They said, 40 million. You're committed. You think you could do that? And I said, yes, even though I had no idea. How do I raise 40 million? I have no idea how to do that. Yeah. So we did it. We raised the 40. Then they said, can you raise 50? And I said, yeah, we're that close. Let's try it. We hit 50. Then we all decided, you know what? Costs are going up, especially since COVID. Let's get to 100. And I thought, oh my God, this is a lot of money. Yeah. So I'm happy to say we're at 75. We have another 25 to go. And I got a year and a half to 2 years till the hospital opens. And this is they say, what's your most proudest thing? I go, the hospital. Yeah. Because it'll touch every one of us at some point, fortunately or unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And we're going to want, and the other thing about me, like 8 years ago, I had cancer and I was very, very sick, and I was down 60 pounds, and it wasn't pretty. It was bad. But today, here I am. You know, I've been like 6 years cancer-free, and that was wood I tapped for anyone listening.
Yep.
And
real oak here.
That was oak wood. And so I'm so excited. I realized we need hospitals, and I spent a month in our hospital and between Niagara Falls and St. Catharines, and I realized how important it was. And the Walker Cancer Center was right there in St. Catharines, that I could get really good treatment, amazing treatment, in fact. And I realized how important this was. I was more resolved than ever. Yes, we're going to do this. Yes, and I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit till we get there. So I've got a couple more. That's why I got to run one last time here to get this across the finish line. Yeah. I got to finish this hospital, raise the last $25 million. And then in the meantime, I made a decision. While I'm at it, we're going to build a hospice right next to the hospital. So watch for news on that. Little secret I let out in your podcast. But point being, that hospital, I'm more proud, it'll be a center of excellence for healthcare. And some people go, well, it's just a building. I go, yeah, but it'll be the latest state-of-the-art building in the country of Canada. Amazing. It's going to have the latest equipment, the very best imaging equipment. And that is going to draw the best doctors, because they don't want to be in a 1958 war hospital. Yeah. They want to be in a nice state-of-the-art, bright, naturally lit, leading edge technology. And this is going to be natural light. It's going to be spectacular. And I've been meeting with all the doctors that are looking to come here, all the med students and all the residency doctors. They are excited about this, and they like the quality of life you get in Niagara Falls. And it's going to be amazing. So more than anything, I'm proud of the GO train. I'm proud of a lot of things. But that hospital will be the legacy long after I'm gone. Yeah. That I'll when I hit my head hits the pillow, I'll always feel good knowing, that was a really good thing.
Probably be in that place when that happens.
And then they'll take me to the hospice right next door, and then right to the cemetery, So get me out.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I think it's just, it's interesting to look ahead like that. So I think it's great to kind of like have that future vision. So you are thinking one more time. And I also wanted to just mention that, how many times have you ran?
I'm 16 years now, so that's 4 times. This will be my 5th time.
Oh my gosh.
5th time, 5th
what does
and
that
final.
feel like to keep, because it's not, there's systems where it's just a continuous run over, but we are in a democratic system where like the residents are voting for you over and over and over again. What does that feel like?
Well, you know what? I'm so grateful. I can't tell you that they've trusted me. And I hope they realize I'm giving them all I got. Yeah. And it cost me a marriage, and it cost me my health. But luckily, both have turned into beautiful things. Yeah. And I'm giving everything I got. I'm thinking every skill, every mistake I've ever done, every business I ran, I put everything I've learned into the city. I'm like the unconventional mayor. I'm not doing things the way it's been traditionally done. I'm trying to change the game. I want to be part of the people. I don't think I'm above or below. I'm just the same. I'm us. It's us. And I think, too, I realized when I was a kid that I like to please people because it gives me satisfaction. It's what floats my boat. When I was a kid, I was starting to tell earlier, we grew up on Vine Street. We backed down at Kerr Park in our wartime house. But my mom had these beautiful roses, and I would cut the rose bushes and get tinfoil, and I would sell them on the street. I was a little kid. I don't know how old I was, like 7 or 8.
Trying to get that paved driveway.
Yeah, that's all. If only we had a paved driveway. But I realized, because when I was selling, one lady wanted to buy all the roses that I had. Oh. And I didn't want to sell them all to her. And she said, no, I'll pay you for all of them. But then I realized, not till I got older, why I didn't want to sell them to her. I wanted to make more people happy by selling everybody one rose. So take one and buy it. And they smelled. My mother's roses smelled at me. I would always smell them. I'd be like, oh my God. And then, you put a leaf in your hand and you pop it, and it makes that popping sound. Yeah. But I used to always smell, like, I love good smelling. When I was away at school, I'd buy my mom flowers, and I'd buy freesia if they smelled good. I'd go, let me smell your freesia. And I go, no, those don't smell good. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm bringing those home to my mom. Yeah. So it's same with the roses. So I like to please people and make them happy. So I hope, like, I'm totally accessible. I return everyone's call, even if you want to yell at me because you're mad about something that somebody did. I'm okay with that. I'll explain, and I'll try to make it better. Like I tell my kids, own it. Fix it, apologize, make it better, don't do it again. And that's what I try to do with everything. And I've had people say to me, oh, you can't fight City Hall. I go, no. I'm your voice on the inside. You absolutely can. And I've had people say, oh, you're only going to defend your staff. And I go, no, I defend the truth. I'm trying to figure out where the truth lies. And I said, that's what I'm defending. But we're going to make this good for win-win. Because for me, win-lose is a loss. Win-win is a win. I want everyone to win. I want everyone to feel good about the city they lived in. They didn't get taken advantage of. They get good value for their money. And the big challenge I'll say, Bree, is we have two levels of government here in Niagara. We have city and we have regional. Mm-hmm. And they've got.
I've heard lots of the regional stuff, discussions going on.
It's frustrating because as a result, we have more government, more politicians, you pay higher taxes.
Right.
They got rid of regional government in Toronto, Hamilton, London, Windsor, Ottawa, but we still have it. So luckily, the good news, the premier's agreed to get rid of regional councillors. And it'll just be the mayors at the region, and it'll be our jobs coming back, if I'm lucky enough to be back. It'll be to start to dismantle certain regional facilities to eliminate a layer of government and costs, because the costs are too high. And the city, we collect the taxes for the region and the school board. In fact, 2/3 of your tax bill goes to the region and the school board. Only 1/3 is your city. So they go, the taxes are too high. And I go, I agree with you 100%. They look at me, I go, yeah, because we're collecting. The regional taxes went up 25% in 3 years. That's not affordable. Nobody's pay goes up that fast.
Yeah.
And I said, we collect for the region, the school board, and we hand them the money. Mm-hmm. We're the messengers. So we're working on a lot of ways to keep it affordable, high level of service, happy community where we take care of each other. And I want people to realize City Hall, they're your friends. They're here to take care of your issues. Mm-hmm. They're not here to cause you problems. They're here to help you with your problems.
Yeah.
And I think the culture has really shifted. We have a really good customer service mentality at City Hall. And people have commented, I've had developers from all over come and go, I've never dealt with city staff like here. They go, you go to Toronto, they pick your city, they go, it's not like this. And I said, well, I'm proud of that. We want to be different. We don't want to be like we're, the ivory tower and you can't come see us. We're too important. I said, not at all. We all put our pants on the same way.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
And the other thing, I'll tell you a quick story. Maybe next time ask me about it if there's the next time.
Put it in. Yeah, we're still recording.
Yeah, sure,
okay, still recording. Okay.
Yep.
So the GO train.
Yeah.
Here's another example of watch what everybody's doing, do the opposite.
Yeah.
So we tried to get the GO train to come here. So now I'm at regional government, and I'm a newer mayor, and there's 32 of us at the region, and I watch every year we call it Niagara Week, where we go to Queen's Park and we go with all of our asks as a region. And I realize we do these presentations. You got the book, I got the pointer. You're gonna put the display thing. You do a magic trick. And then we're gonna wow them. And we do this. And I go, we leave. And then I'm thinking, I didn't feel like that.
What happened?
Yeah, they're looking at their watch. Or like, and then what happens when you meet with these meetings? Queen's Park, you have 15 minutes. 10 minutes in, you hear at the door, and then 5 minutes later, the door opens. Means.
Cut you off. You're done. Yeah.
And I'm like, and then for the last 5 minutes, they're like, they can't wait for, you can tell when someone does the back of their neck, like they want you to leave.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just different. I don't know how I'm not saying better or worse. I'm just different. And I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm like, I'm just, I don't know. And so
not keeping score.
No.
Yeah.
So I'll walk in and I'll walk in the one. I remember I saw a guy had a golf club and I go, oh, you're a lefty? And he goes, yeah. I go, yeah, me too. I go, actually, both my brothers and my dad were a foursome of lefties. He goes,
oh, yeah?
Really? Or I'll see a picture. I go, who caught that fish? He goes, that's me. I go, is that a bass? He goes, yeah, I caught that on Pigeon Lake, and then I remember our guys are going, what are you doing? Because we have a script. You did this, you did this. We have to be done in 13 minutes because at 14 minutes. And I
shooting the shit. Yeah, but you're making connections that people will remember.
Thank you, Brie.
Yeah, you're getting out of that box. Like, here's our presentation.
Yeah.
You need to just connect in an instant with people.
And everybody goes in doing the same thing. So remember, my one mentor said, watch what everyone does. Do the opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, why are we all doing the same thing? It's because everyone does that. I go, then that's why we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So, and then.
Because no one's going to remember it. It's not memorable.
So I got to know this guy. He was MPP. And then so he goes, what do you guys need? How can I help you? Like, it shifted. I didn't even open the book. I said, forget the books, guys.
I already know what I want.
Yes. Yeah. Just tell them. We don't never mind the facts and the stats.
Yeah.
There's a saying and in business, and it's facts tell, stories sell.
Yep.
Because people will forget all the details, but they won't forget your story.
Right.
So we started with a different. So then the next year I went to the mayor of St. Catharines, Brian McMullen at the time. And ironically, he grew up in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And I go, Brian, I got an idea. I go, here's what we do every year. It's a definition of insanity. You do the same thing and expect
different results.
Yeah. And I go, it's not working. I go, do you remember any time that you guys got anything you were looking for? I go, okay. He'd been around longer than me. I go, okay. How about this? Let's just go in with one thing and see how that works. And he goes, well, what'd you have in mind? I go, Go Train. I go, because we'll all benefit. St. Catharines. I go, you make the motion. I'll second it.
Yeah.
We'll lobby, get all the support. We'll go in with one.
Yeah.
So we did. And then we went with one. And it was still an uphill battle, but we had to do a big business.
It's literally an uphill battle.
Oh, yeah, it is. It literally. Punny you.
We're stuck in St. Catharines now. Just a little bit
there. We're almost there. A little bit more. Everybody get out. Yeah. And so we had to do a big, thick business plan. So we're at Queen's Park, and we're all a big room like the size of this, big long table, and all staff down that, and all the city people on this end. And the minister says to me finally, because I'm kind of like the lead chirpy guy on this, and I'm the minister, and I'm relentless. Hey, when I start with something, I don't even hear. Did you say no? Because I didn't hear no. I didn't hear no.
5 asks, man. 5 times.
Exactly. And so he goes. Finally, he goes, Mayor. He goes, I guess I'm the one that's got to give you the news. You're not getting go. And he said it just like that. So I looked at him for a second. Exactly. In my mind, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I said, Minister, and his name was Dilduka because he's the current mayor of Vaughan.
Oh, okay.
And he ended up being the leader of the Liberals. And so he came after Kathleen Wynne. And I said, Minister, he was a minister of transportation. I said, I appreciate your opinion. I said, no. So all of his staff, his chiefs of staff, they're all looking. I said, I appreciate your opinion. I go, but I don't agree with you. I go, and you know why? I go, because I'm too stupid to stop. And he looked, I'm not kidding you, they're all staring at me. They didn't even know what to say because I just told them how stupid I was. And they're all going, and I said, I got a feeling you're going to be the one making the announcement. I said, anyway, I go, well, thanks for the meeting. I go, do you think we can do a group picture? And he said, sure. So they had a fireplace at the far end of the room. So we all stood up along the thing. And I said, I go, Minister, can we do thumbs up? And he said, sure. And we did the picture. And then I turned to him and I said, remember this picture, Minister. 2 years later, he's in St. Catharines at the GO station announcing the GO Train.
Amazing.
And then later when he was the leader, I go, do you remember that day? And
you told me no?
Yeah. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, my staff, when I retired, they gave me a booklet. That's one of our pictures, you and me. And he goes, the ongoing, he goes, but there's, anyway, he laughed because there's more to the story. And so, but I laughed because then they announced it. And we have GO today.
Right.
And so first we start with the buses, then the trains. So we have 3 a day. Next will be hourly. Next it'll be hourly. It will be hourly.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. It started at the region with the Mayor of St. Catharines, and then that day and relentless pursuit. Oh yeah, here's the last part. He goes, there's a part of the story you don't know. I go, what's that? He goes, you remember Niagara region hosted the Niagara Economic Summit at White Oaks? I said, yes. The province came down. I said, yes. And I wanted a meeting with Kathleen Wynne, the premier. And he goes, you just wouldn't let it go. And I said, I'm smiling because that's just me. My mother could tell you, oh yeah, I don't know. Once you give something, no. He won't die. He'll die. Yeah. You have to kill him. That's the only way. And so I smiled. I said, yeah. He goes, we demanded a meeting with the premier. And so it was me, our city manager, and our head of economic development. And the 3 of us going with, and he shows up, the minister. I'm like, why is he here? Mr. No.
Yeah.
And so I didn't say nothing, but he comes in the meeting too. And she goes, so Mayor, what did you want to talk about? And I'm like, it feels weird because he's sitting right there.
Yeah.
And I want to go, because he keeps saying no.
Because that guy
There's someone in the room, I don't want to say who, but they're having a problem helping me. And so she goes, so I say it, and then so we leave. And then he goes, so after you left, the premier said, Minister, what are we going to do? And he goes, Premier, he just won't stop. She goes, I think we got to give it to him. I swear to God, we got to give it to him. And I go, come on. That's what he goes, yes, that was the discussion. And we got it.
Amazing.
So that's why everything we've achieved, not one was easy. Everyone had a story.
Yeah.
And it was absolute perseverance and relentless pursuit of the objective and putting it into the universe, because this people don't realize it sounds hokey and fluffy, and it's not.
No, manifesting is real.
It's very real.
It's real.
It's like knowing open sesame opens the door.
Yeah.
Once you know the magic code, you say it as if it's already happened. Not I hope I get it. Thank you for letting me have it. It's happened.
Yeah.
Because time, it's already happened. Time is something that we live in. The universe doesn't live in.
No.
So when you say it as if it's already happened, it's amazing. So all I can say is, I don't know, watch what else we get done with the same cookie cutter philosophy with everything. We're going to get everything. So I had to tell you that story because I tell everybody, set your target high. I don't care what it is. Do it. Say it. Think it. How many people say one day I'm going to the moon and they went to the moon? One day I'm going to play in the NHL and they play. I go, how many people do that? One day I'm going to. Other people want to, but they don't say that.
They're gonna.
Yeah, they think I would like to, but I never will. I'm not good enough. Or you got to take your thinking to the next level when you want something. And it sounds, and I laugh. People can make fun of me all they want because my own family makes fun of me. It doesn't bother me one bit. My dad always said, I go, and I said, I have people that are really ruthless on social media. They can be terrible. Yeah. And my dad goes, well, how did they treat Jesus? I go, Dad, that's not encouraging.
That's
and he goes, no. He goes, the point is, there's someone who did nothing wrong. And I said, he goes, that's life. That's human nature.
I know. It's so when people are scared, I think, on behalf of other people, then they start ripping them down. That's how I feel.
They're threatened.
Yeah, they're threatened. And it makes them feel uncomfortable because they can't accomplish things the way, like they're watching you do things and they're like, I can't be like that. I can't accomplish this. And then they just,
they attack. Well, I said there's two ways to have the biggest building. You rip everyone else's down or you build one.
Right.
And I always tell people too, by the way, everything I'm telling you, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You just have to do it. I've just given the seeds. I've given you the secret recipe for the most amazing cake. I gave it to you now.
Yeah.
Now go make it.
Be incessant.
Yes. Be relentless. Always be grateful for all the good things. Because you can't be grateful and upset at the same time.
Yeah.
So being grateful, it kind of negates. It's like when you have light, you can't have darkness. Right. And I know I'm sounding all spiritual and philosophical, call it what you want, but it's reality.
Yeah, kind of on like a science level, it's,
Well, I'm telling you, it's even, you look at the greatest scientist of all time said, the more I learn, the more I know there's a higher power.
Right.
Nothing random or Big Bang could have created this.
Yeah.
And you get
we were both raised really like Christian or Catholic.
Yep.
And I think, we kind of went the no God realm. And then now we're coming back to it because we're just like, look at our children, all our gifts and everything that we've been like allowed to participate in. And that we're like, no, there must be something bigger.
Life's a miracle.
I know.
And everything's, it's a dichotomy of what happens. Even, it's funny, I was out with one mayor and we're talking about life and he was just saying, anyone thinking it's random because two cells split one day and create. I know, he goes, that's like saying taking a pocket watch and all of its thousands of pieces and putting them in a little satchel and shaking it, and then when you drop it out, it's a fully assembled, fully functional on-time watch. He goes, that's ridiculous to even say it, but that's what people are saying. 100%. And it's great when you listen from Einstein to Newton to, you go to all the great scientists of all time, and they say the same thing, a higher power, no question about it. And so anyway, so I plug into the universe energy.
Yeah.
And I'll say, if I can end one last thing here, exercise. So I say, your health, don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
So first thing I'll say is, even when bad things happen, good things come out of it. If you let it. When I had my cancer, I never thought of myself as cursed. I always thought of myself as blessed, because I would say, first of all, thank God it's me, not my kids, because I'd rather take this than them. And then things before, when I would complain, the kids ate all the fruit. Now I'm like, thank God they're healthy enough they can eat fruit.
Right.
It gave me a total 180 perspective on things.
Yeah.
So even with, some of the great mistakes in science is how they invented Velcro and Teflon and all the great cures for diseases. So many of them were accidentally stumbled upon, right?
Totally.
And so that's the first thing. And the other thing is, I think I think being grateful has got to be the most important thing. Just, realizing that everything is a miracle, everything is wonderful, everything is great, and just be thankful for it. Does it matter?
Yeah, not having like that victim idea.
No, because too many people, you know, it's that I don't know if they're jealous or they're upset or they're negative. Scared. It could be threatened, intimidated. And that's okay. Those are absolute normal human emotions. I feel them. We all feel them. But once you become aware of it, you're not an animal. You have a brain. You can think your way through it and then start to be consciously grateful for something in your life. Someone you love, some meal you just ate, your roof isn't leaking, your car started this morning. Like, you could, let's go, gravity is holding you on the earth. You're not flying out in space.
Right.
Like, I mean, pick your things.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, you know, you're a miracle.
Yeah.
You know, that your life and you're giving life and you're helping people and then help other people.
Yeah.
So,
and then pay it forward.
And then pay it forward.
Totally.
I think that's your job. Create more positive energy.
Yeah.
And it always comes back to how we started this. You know, that guy helped me at the McDonald's, and then here I am paying it forward, and that's all I want to do. I just want to keep it going.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, this has been absolutely incredible. We are so, so grateful. We appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, have me back again. There's more stories to tell.
Oh, we want to hear them all, for sure. Yeah, we'll touch base again.
All right. Thanks, Brie.
All right,
Thanks, Jake.
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, and you'll never miss a podcast.
All right. Good night.